Good morning or good evening, wherever you are located in the world. Welcome to the weekly CRM Connect call. My name is Tamara. I am your weekly host, and I am not at my usual computer, so I don't have my usual background for this call. So you'll have to excuse me. I look a little bit different today. How is everybody doing? Let me just get everyone in. I see some late joiners. Not late. It's still 6 a.m. my time. Good. Okay, awesome. Glad to have you guys here. I know that the big event is going on right now in Peng Joon's world, and so I hope everyone there is having an amazing time. Soak up everything that you can, learn as much as you can, meet as many people as you can. These events are life-changing, so I hope everyone's having a great time. Today we're going to talk about we're focusing on being able to increase our revenue through sales. And one of the revenue streams that is always highly recommended is to have some sort of monthly recurring revenue, right? Whether that is through you can earn this through affiliate income if you do affiliate marketing. You can earn this through selling a subscription of your own. You can do this through white label SaaS owning, right? You can own some SaaS and you can white label it and sell it to your clients. And that can be a monthly subscription. But the purpose of the monthly subscription is that it's recurring revenue that you can kind of start to count on, because we all know that as business owners, our revenue can be up and down, right? There's nothing guaranteed in this world. And so it can be a bit of a roller coaster. But to add some stability into that roller coaster is by adding in monthly recurring revenue that you can sort of count on. And a subscription is a great way to do that. Now, we have talked about subscriptions and monthly payments and how to set them up here in sales process before. We're also going to talk a little bit about the strategy of subscription, and we're going to talk about how you can use monthly payments versus annual payments and sort of the psychology behind that. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about sales process. Sales process is a software that you use and you pay either a monthly fee for it or an annual fee for it, right? And in sales process case, the price per month is collected on a monthly basis, collected over 12 months, right? The annual price is actually a lump sum of usually the collective of all of those monthly payments with a little bit of a discount, right? And I know that sales process offers this. In some cases, I'll just use these numbers as an example, but in some cases, maybe you're paying $97 a month for sales process, or you could pay $970 a year. And so you get that 2 months sort of discount, right? Which is a great way to position yourself and to also lock in your subscribers for a year so you can really showcase your value that you can give them. You can really help them build and become sticky. Sticky means that they're going to hang around for a while, right? And in the case of sales process is a software. And what we here at Sales Process try to do is we try to provide you with amazing support through trainings, through office hours, through Peng Joon's events and challenges and different programs that he runs. And what you do is you end up building your business using the software, and the software becomes sticky. you have your whole business here, right? You have your websites, you have your funnels, you have your CRM, your customer relationship management tool, you have your email marketing, all of those things. And that becomes your foundational piece of your business. And so then what happens is that subscription turns into more of a utility payment, right? More like keeping the lights on, more like keeping the gas on, more like keeping the water on if you pay water bills, right? So that's what the subscription becomes. It becomes a utility payment, and it's a lot less likely that it's going to be something that you walk away from, right? And that's what we want to help you build in your business is a subscription product that you can help your clients with and support your clients with that becomes part of their need rather than part of their want, right? So whether you serve business owners, whether you serve, um, you know, business to customer, if you sell business to customer, um, that's really what the goal of a subscription is to become a need of your customer rather than a want. And you can build out an entire ecosystem of support and trainings around that need to better support your clients. So we're going to talk today about how can we set up the the products inside of sales process based on offering a monthly payment for a subscription or offering an annual payment with a little bit of a discount. And that may help get clients to stay longer and invest their time into building their foundations inside of your business, right? Okay, so enough of me blabbing on and on. I do enough talking on these calls. Does anybody have any questions or comments before we get started? I'll start sharing my screen here right away. Feel free to unmute. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat. We are here this is an open community. Love having conversations with everybody. So feel free to unmute if you want. If there are no questions, I'm going to proceed. I'll share my screen. There we go. All right. So whenever I'm building out any type of offer within sales process, I always like to get started with my products and what do I need them to look like? Because I'm going to need to, the reason I always start there is because I need to be able to pull them into my funnel and I need to be able to pull them into my automations to make the whole system work, right? So we're going to go over here to our payments menu here on this left-hand side. And we're going to go up here to products and we're going to click on products. And then we're going to go and we're going to create our product. Now, inside of products, there's a way you can add different price variations inside of one product. The reason that I don't set it up this way is that it is very difficult to tell which product you're pulling into a workflow because they both have the same name. So it doesn't identify in workflows the variation name. And so I always say, like this one, if we're going to say, let's call it our software subscription. And I would put in here, I would put monthly. And then, of course, I would go down here. And here's where I'm going to set up. It's going to be not a one-time payment. It's going to be a recurring payment. So I'll click on recurring. And let's just say it's $97 and it's US dollars. And then down here, it's saying, okay, the billing period is going to be monthly. There's no trial period. And if I don't want to set a number of payments, I don't have to. So if I just want this to recur every month forever and ever and ever, I don't put a number in here. I just leave it blank. If I was saying, okay, this is $97 a month for the next 12 months, then I would put in here 12 months. But this is a software subscription and you get charged for it every month, $97 every month until you cancel, right? So we're not going to put in a number of payments here. So we've got it set up now. It's $97, it's monthly, and then you have the option here to add another price. But I'm going to tell you that I don't do it this way because the naming becomes confusing. So I actually set up two different products. I set up the monthly software subscription, and then we're going to set up the annual software subscription. Okay. So I'm going to click save on this and save again. And then I have my monthly product set up, and now we'll set up our annual product. So we're going to go over here to create product, and we'll call this annual. There. And then we're going to go down here, and again, this is going to be recurring, and it's going to be for the full amount of $970, and we'll put US. This time, though, it's going to be billed yearly, right? So we're going to bill this yearly. And again, I'm not going to put in how many number of payments. It's just going to be until they cancel, right? And so then I just click save, and now we have our two subscription products set up, the two prices that we have. We have the annual and the monthly, okay? So the next thing we need to do is to attach that to our funnel to be able to save it, right? So it looks like my product is saving here. It's a little bit slow this morning. And I'm just going to go out and see what happens here. Okay, there we go. We have both of them here. So now we have both of our products. Now we need to attach our products to our sales funnel to be able to sell them in, right? So I'm going to go over here to sites. And I'm just going to choose a funnel that I've worked in before. Let's see. Let's use this one. And what I want to do is I always attach my products to my order form, right? Wherever your order form lives, that's where your products have to be attached to. So inside of my order form page, I'm going to come up over here to the right-hand side, go to products. I'm going to delete these two products because they're from a different lesson. I'll delete those out. And then we're going to attach our new subscription products, okay? So we're going to click Add Product. Then we look for it in this drop down. So I'm going to do the annual software subscription first. And I'm going to choose the price. And then I'm going to save that. Then I'm going to add the monthly software subscription and save that. Now, when you have different prices for essentially the same product, it's really important on your order form to actually be really clear about what you're offering, okay? So we're going to take a look at inside the builder, how is this set up and how I would set it up to really make it clear about what the prices are, okay? So inside the order form, I'm just clicking into the builder here. And the way this one is set up is when you click on this button here, it actually opens up the pop-up on this page. And if we go up here to the pop-up settings, you'll see that the order form sits here, okay? So I want to restructure this a little bit. I want to actually get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of the pop-up. I'm going to get rid of this button here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this here. And so this is actually an image. I'm going to change that out too, because I'm just going to look for a different kind of image. But I do like the way this is structured, right? Step one, pick your plan. So here I would choose I'm going to choose a different offer or a different picture here. I'm going to get rid of these two pictures and I'm going to put in another image element here. And over here, I'm going to go see if I can find a different kind of mock-up for it in the relocated information here. Let's see. Yeah, let's just use one like this. Okay, so that is that. And let's say down here, I'm going to add in some text elements just to help identify. So I would put here, grab the monthly subscription. And then I'm going to identify here. I'm going to get rid of that and then identify here. I'm going to put in a headline one and I'll say or. And then I'm just going to copy this one. You guys are seeing all my crazy funnel building moves here. So they're not really that crazy. Or we can highlight the savings. We can say get 2 months free and purchase the annual subscription for $9.70 per year. Okay, so we really want to explain that there's two payment methods, right? And then here I would add in my order form. So I'd put in my order form here. Okay. And then I don't know if this is attached. No, it's not attached to a domain. Okay. So do you see here how okay, so I have my sort of offer mock-up picture here. Then I'm expressly pointing out what the price is. So you either can choose $97 a month or get 2 months free, purchase the annual subscription for $9.70. So then when they go ahead to fill out the order form, they're going to know that there's two options. So I don't just want to attach the two options to the order form. I want to provide a little bit of explanation around it and also explain the deal, like explain the why would you choose the annual, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're trying to make it explicitly clear that there are two payment options. You can either choose $97 a month or you get 2 months free for $9.70. Okay? Any questions about sort of this layout that we've put together here? We changed a few things. Any questions? Great. Always feel free to just unmute or pop your questions in the chat. I'm always happy to take a look at those and stop and answer them as we're going along here. Okay, so we've done a little bit of work here. We've restructured how the payments are actually shown on the order form. And I just want to make sure I'm in test mode here. Yeah, we are in test mode. Okay, so I'm going to actually go through and I'm going to show you how the products appear on the order form. Okay, so I'm going to fill out all this information here. And go to the next step, which is I'm just going to click there. So now you can see here, there's check boxes beside on the order form. There's the annual software subscription, and it says here $970 per year. Or I can choose the, and make sure you uncheck this one. Actually, you know what? We're going to go back and fix that inside the builder, because what this is turned on so that you can select multiple products. So we call that like cart mode on the order form. And I really don't want to ever have them accidentally pay for both, right? So we can set it up so that these are radio buttons so they can only choose one rather than choosing both, because I don't ever want to have to get into a situation where I'm providing refunds because, oops, they accidentally paid for both, right? So I'll show you how to set that up inside a sales process in your order form here. We're going to go back to the order form page in the builder. And if we take a look at this, we want to make sure this is highlighted, and over here it says the two-step order form. We're going to scroll down, or we're going to go into advanced, and we're going to scroll down, and there's some options in here that we're going to shut off. So it says here, enable cart mode. That's turned on. So that means that there will be those check boxes beside each product on the order form, and people can select all of the products. So I want to shut that off. I want them to only be able to choose one of the products, right? And then the rest I think is good. That was the only thing I wanted to choose. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I mean, just visually what that looks like. If we go back here, just one sec, I gotta get my screen sorted out here a bit. Okay, so if I just refresh this, I'm gonna go in here, put this information in again, and go to step 2. Now you can see they've changed from check boxes to radio buttons, and I can't choose both, right? I can only choose one. So the reason I did this was just to save my own sanity from having to do refunds because they accidentally purchased two, or customers complaining because they were charged for both, right? So it's important to set your order form up to reduce any kind of refund requests or anything like that. So here we can then test to make sure that we can purchase our annual subscription. And of course, to test your funnel, you just put your test card in, make sure it's a date, the expiration date is a date in the future, and then I can just put in and test that out. You cannot combine currencies in a single customer. This customer has an active subscription out with a different currency. Okay, so I must have tested this in a different currency using a subscription. And so this is saying I can't do that. But normally this happens in test accounts all the time because you do so many different variations, but this normally would complete the order and then you'd be good to go. So I just wanted to show you the difference there. So now we have our subscriptions set up in our funnel. We have our products created. Now we have to go and identify those products within a workflow. How do we, and does it matter? I guess you can ask yourself that question too. Does it matter? Do I need to know who, like, let's say 6 months from now, do I need to know who paid monthly and who paid annually? And of course, you can go and you can look at their transaction in your sales process account, but there are ways that you can tag them inside of automations as well. So we're going to go back and we're going to build out the purchase automation for this particular product. And so we're going to go over here to automations on the left-hand side, and we're going to go and create a purchase workflow. And we're going to be able to identify which payment plan they purchased. Were they monthly or were they annual? Through what we call a condition. So we're going to click on Create Workflow. We're going to choose Start from Scratch. And we're going to give this a name. So we'll just, that is not, okay, there we go. Purchase, software. Okay, so they're purchasing a software subscription. And at the top of this workflow, we're going to actually use two different triggers. We're going to use order submission. So we'll type in here order form submitted. And then we're going to tell the system where was this order form, in what funnel. Okay. And I believe it was this one. We're going to say page is, and it's the order form. Then we're going to say the product is, and we're going to choose annual. And then the submission type is sale, right? And up here, just so that I can identify it, I'm going to put annual payment. And I'm going to save that. And I'm going to save that. Then I'm going to add another trigger. And this time I'm going to direct it to be the monthly payment. So here I'm going to click on the add new trigger. Then here I'm going to type in order form submission. Then we're going to say again once, where is it in the funnel? Tell it the funnel name. The page is order form. The product is monthly. And of course, the submission type is sale. And so here we're going to type in monthly payment. Oops. And we're going to save that. And just a note to yourself, you have to save the triggers first before you can isolate the triggers in the next step of the workflow. So now that we have the triggers saved, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this plus button and we're going to set up a condition. And we're going to ask the system to check which workflow was it, which trigger was it actually that fired off, so that we can identify this customer and add a tag to them based on whichever trigger fired off. So to do this, we're going to put in a condition. It's called if else. So we're going to grab that. And I always form my conditions instead of if this, then that, because that makes my brain hurt. I use questions. So I will say, which payment plan did they choose? Okay. And so then here I'm going to put annual payment. Okay. And then here I'm going to choose workflow trigger is annual payment order form submission. Then my next branch is going to be monthly. And again, here I'm going to choose my workflow trigger is, and it's going to be monthly payment. And then you save this. And what it creates is it creates pathways for you to build out the communication, tagging, segmentation that you need, right? So here, the system, we can then, down the annual path, we can add a tag to them, right? We can say, okay, add a contact tag, and our tag is going to be subscription annual. Okay. And we'll add that. And we're going to put this up here as well. And save that. Now I want to also tag the monthly buyers, right? So I'm going to put here contact tag and subscription monthly. Okay. Oops. There. Now, let's save that so we don't lose anything. The next thing I would probably do is send them an email confirmation, right? So let's go like this and go email. So we would send them an email. You would write out the email, giving them next steps, how do they access their subscription, all of that information, right? So I'm just going to put in here, just as a placeholder, I will put that there. And then I'd also want to put that over right here, right? Now, one thing that we can do, and I recommend that you do, especially with the annual subscription, is I would put in a wait step for not quite 365 days, right? What we're building here is we want to build in a renewal reminder because a year is a long time, right? I see a question coming in. Oh, this is just AI. Okay. So we want to build in a reminder that we can send to our customer about the fact that their subscription, their annual subscription is renewing. So let's say we want to go 350 days. Okay. And we'll change this to days. And we'll put here 350 and save that. I should put in here days too. There we go. So we'll wait 350 days and then we can send them another email. Send them an email. And this one we would call it the renewal reminder email, right? There we go. Oops, I have to put this in here as well. So this would be just a reminder that the renewal is coming up in 15 days. And just to let them know. That way, the reason I recommend doing this is especially with the annual is because people are going to forget that they have a renewal coming up. Maybe their credit card expired and they need to update that payment information. So here you can give them information on where can they update their credit card information. With subscriptions, they can be granted access to your client portal where they can update their payment information if you want. Excuse me, I need a drink of coffee after all that talking. Okay, so this allows you to give them a renewal reminder here that's built in, and maybe you want to put in a few, right? Maybe you want to send that first renewal reminder, and then you may want to wait a few more days. Wait another 10 days. So now we're at 360 days, right? Wait 10 days and do a renewal reminder number 2, right? And put that down here. So this gives the customer ample chance to be alerted that they're going to be charged $970 again. Here, you're giving them information on how do I make changes to my subscription if I need to. And I like to be really transparent about these things because if you're transparent about the fact that their renewal is coming up, in the long run, it's going to save you from having to do refunds because people get charged and they don't understand why they got charged. And it gives you ample room to provide them with the information they need if they need to update their credit card, right? Update their credit card information. So any questions about any of this? Any questions at all? feel free to unmute, put it in the chat. I'm not so concerned about building in renewal reminders for a monthly subscription, because if you have your payments set up properly, they're going to receive a receipt every month, and they'll receive a receipt every month for their payment. And then it, like I said, it just becomes like a utility bill. But I do like to provide that little bit of extra reminder inside of an annual payment, just because the dollar amount is higher, and doing refunds on $970, you're going to lose those Stripe fees, right? So you have the potential to lose bigger money that way, um, rather than with just the $97. So just something to keep in mind. And then I can show you, especially with like subscriptions like this, if you have your payments set up correctly, we'll go out of the workflow now, and I'll show you what I mean by setting up your payments correctly. So in your payments section here, if you go into your settings, way over here on the right-hand side, you can set up receipts, and you can turn this toggle on, so that anytime a purchase is done inside of your sales process account, a receipt is sent out. And you have the opportunity here to go through and you can set it up. The email that's sent, you can use the default email that's sent. You can create your own template to send out every time someone purchases it, if you want to have a branded template for your receipts. And what this does is it sends them an email, and it attaches a PDF of a sales receipt for every purchase that's made inside of your account. Okay. So you can set this up any way you want, and use a template that's branded to your business if you want for sending it out. But this is where you can turn that on to make sure that they're always receiving a receipt for their purchase. You can also, I know some people go directly into Stripe to set this up. They'll set this up and send receipts directly from Stripe, but you can do it right here in your sales process account. So there's no need to go to a different software to set anything like that up. There is here subscriptions, and this is where you can manage your failed payments, which is really nice. So let's say somebody has a subscription, a $97 subscription. You can set up how often you want the system to retry if the subscription has failed. You can set up, should it retry after 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days? You can decide, right? You can also decide how many times, up to 3 different times, the system can try. And then you can also decide if the status is all retries fail and there's no retries added. If they fail, do you want the subscription canceled? So you can set the system up to just cancel the subscription, or you can just leave it so that it stays in a failed state, and then you are following up with the client personally on that. So that's really nice too, to be able to set up how many times the system will try to collect that payment from them. Before you had to go into Stripe to set this up, but now you can manage that here inside of your payment settings. Any questions about this area of sales process, of your payment settings or receipts or anything like that? Any questions?
So on that,
Oh,
if you don't check after all retries, cancel it.
yeah.
It's um, it's not being paid for, obviously, because the card failed, but it hasn't canceled. So that means that gives you the option to try and reach out manually
Yes.
or okay.
Yeah. So then you can reach out manually to them, like either through email or if you have their phone number, you can call them. But this will not cancel the subscription. This will just leave it in a failed state,
Got
and
it.
then you have the opportunity to recover those funds.
Would you, is there, like, I mean, would you ever want to cancel it? I mean, like,
So
what
in
if you come
some,
back later and said, "Oh, it's been 3 months. Oops, I didn't mean for that to happen."
yeah. So in some cases, you definitely want to cancel it, right? Like if you think about Netflix, right? If your subscription fails 3 times, then Netflix will cancel your subscription and you lose access to the service. And so that's probably, if you're selling software, you definitely want to do that, right? You want to take away their access to that service. If
Got
it's a
it.
course or like a membership that you're selling, then yeah, you would want them to lose access to the course or to the community. Maybe you're selling a membership community. You'd want them to lose access at some point, right, within that failed payment process.
Got it. So you would
Yeah.
need to then go in and manually cancel it.
Yes.
If okay.
Yeah. You would have to go in and manually cancel it. And then you'd also want to set up a workflow that if the subscription is canceled, that it revokes access to either the community or the course,
Okay. Would
because
that
then that
be,
takes their login away from them for getting access to a course or a community.
got it. That makes sense. So then
Yeah.
like you could use that same workflow that you created a while ago and then just add an if if this
Yes.
and say, if this cancels,
Yep.
then
What I like to do, I wouldn't put it in the same purchase workflow, Gloria. I'd put it in. So I would go and I would set up my own workflow for specifically subscriptions. So I would go and create a new workflow, and this would be for the subscriptions are canceled. So if I say um, subscription canceled, and then my trigger here is going to be subscription. And then I'm going to add the filter. Status is canceled.
oh, okay.
Okay. And then if it was, let's say it's for a community, I would revoke. So you can revoke access to a course offer or to a group access. They call it group instead of community. And you can also, so inside of communities, they have private channels. You can revoke access to a private channel if that was a paid channel that they were in.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So the action would revoke, and then you would also want to send an email that said,
Yep.
access has been revoked or
Yeah.
canceled or
So you
whatever.
could put like, let's say I revoke access to this course, and then I would put in here email, send out an email saying your access has been removed. You can no longer log in, and then you can also decide if you want to put in, if this was a mistake, please reach out to us or, yeah.
Mm. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Great question. That's a really good question. I love how sales process gives you the opportunity to build out, what does my cancellation process look like? How can I nurture that person a little bit more through messaging or um, more reach out or give them another opportunity to pay or, I mean, at some point you really just have to cut the dead wood off, but it does give you the opportunity to build out what you want your cancellation process to look like. So. And then remember too, you can build out workflows for not just canceled, but expired or failed. If you want to be notified, like let's say you decide, I want to build out a workflow that if the subscription fails, I want to be notified, right? So you could choose failed instead, and then you could build in an internal notification. So internal. So send internal notification, and you can decide how you want to receive it, whether it's by email, whether it's by an in-app, so in sales process notification, or if it's a text message. And so you can send an email to yourself, or you can send a text message to yourself saying, using this custom value, you can use this person, full name, and then you would receive the notification there, right?
And again, that trigger is failed.
That's
So
right. Yes.
that's how it would know the contact name.
Yeah, that's right. It would pull that information from the subscription. And then you would be notified that it was failed. And then you can decide, you can build out a whole process here instead of in the back end of payments. You can send them an email saying, hey, your subscription failed. We're going to try again in 2 days. Please ensure the funds are there, or reach out to us and let us know what's going on, or whatever you want to do.
So what you're saying then in payments, we would not, if we did it here in email, then in payments, we wouldn't say retry.
You could still set it up as a retry because it's not notifying them that it's being retried. It's just doing it on the back end.
Okay. So we want,
So
so you said to do it here instead of in payments. What did you mean by that then?
I meant by setting it up in there, saying like if you are just trying in the background without notifying them,
Huh?
and you don't want to do that. If you want to try in the background and also notify them, you can set that up here.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. But yeah, I definitely recommend setting up processes and workflows for, especially if you have subscriptions, because you want to manage those automatically as much as you can, because it can become a bit of a customer service nightmare if you don't,
Yeah, that's a really
especially if you have a
great.
lot.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so we have come to the end of our lesson today. Thank you, Glory, so much for your questions and participation. Um, for your homework, basically, all I would love to see is inside of your funnel that you attach the products to, show me how you set it up in the order form. So when we show me how you explained the difference. So how we set this up on the order form to be, show me how you explained your pricing, right? So that it was really clear that they were going to have two payment options on there, and that there was either going to be a monthly subscription or an annual subscription with a savings. So take a screenshot of your order form where it shows that, and then also a screenshot just of your workflow that you created for this here, your software subscription. So show me that you've got your two triggers up here that identify each, whether it's annual or monthly payment, and then how you're tagging those people here. So just take a picture of this. And you don't have to build out this entire renewal process. I was just showing you that as sort of like an extra step just to help with managing those annual payments, but just show me this part here. Take a screenshot of that and post that in the Facebook group with the hashtag sales process wins, and then you're entered into the contest I believe the prizes will be changing because of course, today is the big event, right? This is the start. Everyone's at the event, and so the prizes for the homework contest was tickets to those events, as well as some extra bonuses with one-on-one time with Peng Jun, and then one-on-one time with Marcus for advertising. So I'm sure the team will be announcing new prizes here very shortly, but continue to post your face or your homework in the Facebook group to get entered to win those prizes. And I'm sure I'll have some news next week about what the new prizes are. Does anybody have any other questions? It doesn't even have to be about this. Any other questions or struggles you're having inside of sales process that I could assist you with? Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you, Glory, for being here. And I am back again next week. Um, so when I'm back either Monday night for some people, and Tuesday morning for some people. So depends on what side of the earth you live on. But I'm back next week with some more trainings around funnel building, and I will see you guys then. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great weekend. I hope you guys are doing something fun. It's finally warming up here in Canada, so I'm looking forward to being outside.